Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconiana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home.
Today we have a vintage AUTOMET aluminum block petrol lighter. See, the fuel screw is marked AUTOMET N.Y for New York. Made in U.S.A. This is a cylindrical, fluted roller petrol lighter. Very similar to the cylindrical aluminum block unmarked lighter we had last week that did not have a full roller on it. It just had the little disc roller. Flip up action, very nicely machined. It does show scuffs, blemishes, discoloration, corrosion. Really cool old lighter though. Still has its original wick. The fuel screw is not knurled, which it was on the other cylindrical one we had. It does have an integrated standard precision screwdriver by which you can manipulate your flint spring screw. Very convenient, if not the best screwdriver in the world. See, the wadding is just sort of sufficiently packed in there, not real dense. When I filled the lighter, it was evident that there was fuel pooling around the edges just because it was packed a little lighter than some. The fluting of the base or body, whatever you would call that part of the lighter, does help your fingers gain traction, gain purchase for you to strike it. The flip up lid looks like it works off of a spring, but it is cut into the side of this side of the bar stock, it looks like, rather than being down in this position like they often are. I hadn't really studied these cylindrical lighters that well to see exactly how those hinges were attached or the spring tension, how it was manipulated upon them. But a really cool old lighter. I've always been interested when I saw these in groups for sale unidentified, simply because it kind of reminded me of a roll of coins. I've had a few cylindrical ones. I don't believe I've ever had an AUTOMET, but this one is nice and seems to work really well. We did not have to clear the flint tube of degraded flint when we got it. It was already clear. Just installed a flint, pulled the wick up a little bit, added fuel to it, which is easy enough to do. Big wide hole there for you to fuel it through. There is no gasket or seal on the fuel screw, but the threads are substantial enough and fit snug enough that I don't think quick evaporation any quicker than any other petrol lighter is going to be an issue. Does show some grime, dirt buildup, corrosion. not sure if that is an anodized finish to make it so shiny. But whatever the finish is, there may be some finish loss, scuffs, dings. Not a perfect lighter, but a really cool old lighter that is marked pretty well. Pretty good details for an aluminum block lighter. Cool to see it's not just marked made in USA, but New York as well. When I looked this lighter up on the Toledo Bend website, it just said made in USA. Did not say New York listed or there on that listing for the AUTOMET. I believe they had about 3 or 4 different pictures of 3 or 4 different lighters there, which if you are not familiar with the Toledo Bend VCL website that Frank Dutton put together with a few other collaborators, you should check that out. Now this lighter has kind of made me rethink. During this video it's been lighting just fine, held sideways, which I've come to believe that most roller lighters are meant to be held at about that angle, sideways, to have the optimal chance for it to ignite, simply because the path that the sparks travel. Of course, there's many other elements that play into it other than just the spark. But as I have been fiddling with this lighter around the headquarters here since I fueled it up, it seemed like it wanted to light much better, held stable and sparked while being straight up. Maybe it's just the last gasps of vapor lock working themselves out. Maybe it'll light either way just fine. But I do think it's interesting because they're definitely not made for a left-handed person to use with their left hand. That'd be all kinds of awkward. It worked okay there, but and I'm fairly dexterous as a left-handed person, but still it's hard to manipulate that in that way. The roller just doesn't want to spin like you need it to on such a short movement there. So held straight up and struck with 2 hands, or sideways struck with 1. Either way, I think, or maybe sideways with 2. Maybe this one's not quite ready for us to put it up for sale yet. I like to know exactly how a lighter is operating before I sell it. I want to know exactly how I can describe it. And if it doesn't ignite or function quite as dependably as I would like to, but I still think it's got significant value as a lighter, then a lot of times I will go ahead and sell it, just noting its deficiencies. Or otherwise, it may end up, if it's not lighting reliably at all, end up getting sold off in a group of other lighters, pretty much just a big lot, unidentified, or most of them unidentified. It all depends. We'll just see how it treats us around the workshop here as we try to use it. But you can definitely see it's not lighting as quickly as it did at the beginning of this video. Until next time.